And we're back by popular demand. Or or I would say we're black by popular demand, except more volume on my microphone. And my microphone needs to be the loudest for a variety of reasons. Where's Gary? Gary, somebody get Gary from the bar. Somebody shake Gary loose from the bar so we can get some volume on my mic. Hey, welcome back to Champions Live Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. We're coming to you live from the Comfort Inn on Rhode Island Road in Pitt Hills, talking everything in and around sports. There's a lot of sports stuff going on and running through here. And as usual, before I introduce our illustrious panel, as usual, I'm the only Steeler fan here, apparently, that is vying for the Steelers to draft the right person tonight in the NFL draft, because nobody else on the panel seems to, Ken comes a little close. He got his Goodwill sweatshirt on with black and gold, but who's number 19? Who was that?
1933.
Oh, when you played in 1933. There you go.
The Steelers started.
So Ken and I are the only Steeler fans. Then the rest of these bums. But
I came from the golf course.
Of course, you can't wear black and gold at the golf course, so that's understandable. Robert Rock Robinson, by way of Shelly High School City League Hall of Famer, joins us. Brandon Walker, the authority on all things the rest of us doesn't know, which is why we pay him big money to be here. Ken Ogilvy back after hospice care, back in the fold and prepared to chime in. Mario Tempest, Mario, at some point, you got to let people know what you went through. I'll leave that up to you when you want to decide to share with the world. We're talking about good health, man. You're the beacon of good health right here and right now. And Warren Wilson down at the end of the table. Warren's the only guy that we know that played pro basketball that don't know a damn thing about basketball. It's amazing to me. You're down there checking this stuff. How can you have played pro basketball and you don't know nothing about pro basketball? And all we ask you to do is come here and talk about basketball. But be that as it may, let's get it cracking with our extra points, stuff that we need to talk about. But most importantly, the NFL draft kicks off tonight, and the Pittsburgh Steelers take pick number 20. And there's some rumblings, Brandon, about whether they'll jockey up or move around and try to get this or that person. So what say you about the draft tonight and what the Steelers, two questions, what we want them to do and what they're going to do, because they won't do what we want them to do.
What they should do is, actually, I think they should trade back, because I think they still have a few more needs. But I think they're going to probably either stay where they are or they're going to trade up. And I would trade up for Olu Fashanu, left tackle from Penn State, or the center from West Virginia, Frazier. So that's what I think they're going to do. But and also you also, because you're going to need a corner, because the corner is not settled. I don't like the other safety next to Nika too much, KZ. And I still think you might need another inside linebacker for depth purposes.
Well, and all those things sound good and necessary. My particular hope is that they bring in another Hall of Fame center. That's what the Steelers have done over the last 40 years. And it would be my hope that they go snatch up another Hall of Fame center. But who wants to chime in? What do you think?
I like the guy from Washington. I think he's big, he's mean, he's proved himself in the pack. 10 that they're in.
And his name would be?
I'll forget my time. But anyways, Bill, the thing is, he came to the Steelers and they looked at him.
Whatever his name is, he was here.
Yeah.
What's his name from Washington?
From Washington.
From what position?
Center.
All right.
I think he's a guard.
No, he's a big guy. He's a big guy.
Whoever he is.
Yeah. 6'6", 320, something like that. Mike White was the greatest center ever of the Steelers, plain and simple. And
What's wrong with you?
Webster?
I mean, Mike Webster.
Mike Webster, I mean, Mike Webster was.
Mike
he was
White's
hard.
cousin, Mike
Yeah,
Webster.
right. Anyways, Mike Webster was one of the greatest, and we've had a couple of good centers, but never like Mike.
Well, we've had
I
some
think
great
Pouncey
centers.
was pretty good.
Pouncey's
He's good.
Jamais
Is he gonna make the
Dawson.
Hall of Fame? Do you think he's gonna make the Hall
Oh,
of Fame?
yes, he is.
Dawson's a
Yes,
Hall.
he is.
Demonte Dawson's Hall of Fame and Pouncey's a Hall of Fame. Yeah, they've done just well. But go ahead, Rolf. You're about to add something.
Did he stop after Mike Webster? Did you see any other Steelers playing?
Mike White?
Yeah. Dawson,
Yeah, I got to see it.
Pouncey.
Yeah, I got to see
Yeah.
And then before that, Jeff Hardens was pretty good. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he's a multiple-time Pro Bowl.
He was stable. He was stable.
Yeah.
Well, but Brandon, what about the NFL across the board? Who's likely to be the first 3 picks drafted?
Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels.
Oh, wait,
Drake
give us
May.
names, give us schools, and where they're going.
Oh, okay.
Pretend like you're on a talk show and people are watching us.
All right.
All over
With the first pick,
There
the
you go.
Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams, quarterback, USC.
Now we're talking. You're talking.
With
No sound effects. No sound effects.
the second pick, the Washington Commanders select Jaden Daniels, quarterback, LSU.
All right.
And with the third pick, the New England Patriots select Drake May, quarterback, UNC, North Carolina.
All right. So the first 3 picks in the NFL draft this year will be quarterbacks, conceivably 4, and there's talk that 6 quarterbacks will go in the opening rounds of the draft. All right. So the draft is off and running. Kicks off tonight, ESPN, 8:00. We're going to get everybody out of here in time to get home and register all that. But pretty excited about this year's quarterback draft selections. Maybe the best quarterback group, well, easily in the last 20 years, but maybe since the Elway group. So remains to be seen. So swinging from moving from there to what else is happening hot and heavy. Warren, the NBA is in the midst of playoff time. My Lakers are threatening to be swept if they don't do something. They're complaining about officiating. The Philadelphia 76ers are complaining about officiating. But what is the status of the NBA East playoffs, NBA West playoffs, and what do you see coming down the pipe?
Well, I personally think the officiating has gotten better. I thought for several years you couldn't touch anybody, like throughout the 10s and early part of the 2020s. But now they re-strategized the way they officiate. It's changing the game. You got to play now. You got to have some strength with you. They're doing no calls. You go up and you just go straight up and you bump into somebody and you don't shoot it. It's not a foul now. You know what I mean? So
And that's all good, but the Philadelphia says they got fouled 3 times in a row and the fouls wasn't called, and that's why they lost the game.
Knicks are on a streak though too.
Well,
as players, and you play, you can't go down to, you can't let it get to that point. You can't let it go down to the last let the officials decide that game.
so you're not blaming what Embiid blaming on that it was bad officiating and no calls made when it should have been made.
No. Anybody that's played the game at a high level knows that there's so many opportunities throughout the game to make sure it's not decided by one call or a mistake call or two that is just human error.
But LeBron chimed in his post-game comments saying that they got robbed, and in looking at the Sixers game, they got robbed, and he was outspoken about it. So, of course, LeBron is a crybaby. So.
He always complained constantly.
Hold on, kid. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm just saying. No. I'm not LeBron doesn't make my top 5 all time, so I'm not that guy. But LeBron does his share. And speaking of which, Warren, while we got you, before you doze off again, this whole LeBron and his son thing, where are you at? I mean, LeBron is holding out for his son to be drafted and to play in the NBA with him. He's obviously lobbying for the Lakers to to draft his son, who by the fact while at USC was not the best player on USC's team, let alone being drafted in the NBA. You're well, but we're live on camera and you're interrupting the show. So yeah, that was Sean Hawkins that stepped in out of nowhere. Where's security? Where's security? This is not even over there. That's already in here.
Perfect timing.
Well, but here's the problem. Gary is security, and security that's sitting right in. Yeah, yes. So
he knows the basketball player when he sees one. That's well
He
earned.
knows talent, he knows people that play sports.
Well, I tell you what. Fortunately, we're a show with no rules and regulations.
It's so spontaneous.
Well, hey Gary, you still need some volume here, man. Turn Brandon's mic down some and give me more juice. Well, I need more.
We can hear
Here we
you.
go. What?
He's low.
Come on.
We can hear you.
Is he good? Is he
good? He's low.
Is Sean in the sink?
Yeah. He's in his
I'm on.
Hey, so if anybody has a right to just jump in whenever they want, it's the grandson of the great Connie Hawkins. So we are now joined by Sean Hawkins and the grandson of the great Connie Hawkins, who, by the way, looks over your shoulder, as is always the case.
Regardless, check with me next time because it's my film.
I'm just saying. Hey, listen, you got to blame security because security fell short. Listen, hey Rico, I hope nobody comes looking to do one of us here because Gary will let them right. Gary will let them right in. So let's update our audience. We are Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So Sean Hawkins joins us by way of Shelley High School, Long Beach State University, and European professional basketball. So yeah, you do have some expertise in the mix. And let's make it clear, one of the area's all-time greatest players, Connie Hawkins League Hall of Famer, and soon to be inducted into the City League Hall of Fame. So you bring some credentials to the table. As a matter of fact,
He's from Finland.
I'm sorry.
He's from Finland in that club.
Well, is that a mercy clap or? But I want to go back to our security guy one more time. Now that we have a real baller, Gary, take Warren.
Oh, hey, I need your help, bro. I need your help.
No.
Hey, Sean.
My man, you heard it. I got the stats.
Sean, but Warren did his time, but you're most recently retired from the game. So how do you see what LeBron is talking about and some of the guys in the NBA are talking about? And just your opinion overall. I mean, let's run with it. Hold that microphone up.
I would say one, it's huge to do something that hasn't been done before.
More volume
It's
there.
one to do something hasn't been done before. It's one thing to like break a record. It's another thing to set a record. And I think that's the difference between what, some people that are legends or GOATs or compared to, that's where you can separate. Because some people are fighting here to break a record, and there's some people that are trendsetters that are making those trends that other people are trying to catch up with, and on top of it, now just to segue, my opinion, as far as his son, I think is huge, it's monumental in the fact of building a legacy. And I think he showed that when he moved to LA, where he showed his interest was. He already showed that his interest was in building for the future. Forget right now, forget what he can do. He's already built up in Cleveland. He's done enough. He's done things there. He's like, okay, now what can I do once my basketball career is over? What does that look like? He's already.
But what gives LeBron James the right, other than the fact that he's LeBron James, to orchestrate the recruitment of his son to the LA Lakers when clearly he's not ready to play in the NBA by all accounts.
Well,
Other
I
than
think,
LeBron James.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's a big.
That's the only.
But I think he's not wrong in that sense. But I think what it is now, I think that with the way that the basketball game, the way it's the NIL deals, and the way that basketball game is now, it's more so how many people you can put in the stands versus your talent level, what you have right now. The game is more clean cut. They want to have guys that can stay out of trouble. You know, the Allen Iverson guys. You know, that era of where.
So you're saying, regardless of talent, the Lakers are behind us as well.
Yes, yes. I think in this time and day that they're going to stand behind LeBron James, and wherever he's at, they're going to stand behind whatever comes with him.
Well, speaking of which, and anybody can chime in. Speaking of today's game, Caitlin Clark just signed a $28 million contract with her Indiana Fever team in the WNBA, and that's a pittance in comparison to what NBA players. So how do we feel about? Hold it, Kent. Hold it, Kent.
How many years?
5 years.
5 years.
That's not.
300,000 though. She's getting an endorsement by Nike.
That's not what we're talking about. That's different. What about the disparity between the WNBA contracts and NBA contracts? It's huge. At what point does the world move the WNBA money up to the level of the NBA money?
When they get ratings.
When the TV ratings start going up, start coming close to the NBA, then it makes sense. Until then, it doesn't make sense.
So nobody's at fault.
No, yeah, he's right.
It's just a matter of time. The time isn't there yet. Now, with her there, they could bring it to that level, and when they do, it's probably right around the corner.
So Mario, so it's not an indictment against the NBA.
No, not at all.
It's just the dollar signs.
I thought that the NBA funds the WNBA, as far as I know, and the G League. So, you know,
That's a good point.
Well, I think more so it comes to putting fans in the stands.
You gotta have
When it comes to
attendance, you gotta
anything else,
fill
it's a
it.
business like anything else, and people buy into it, and it's more than just the NBA funds. They're not just giving money away. I guarantee you, everybody's in the business of winning. So, and with that being said, now the WNBA is on the up and coming, and you see more promotion and more things for them. You know what I mean? And they're more so now. Most of those women go overseas to overcompensate for that money that they're not.
And have been doing so for quite some time.
Most of the time, they make more money overseas and abroad than they make over here playing in the WNBA.
in fact, I think that's what Kim was saying. I think he was saying that the Nike contract is a 5-year, $28 million.
Yeah, and
Not
most
the,
of the
not
time,
the, not the WNBA contract.
yeah, it's the endorsements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
They're
getting
not paying the part that much.
Her contract is not going to be that.
Yeah, that's what Nike. She has her own shoe and everything.
Even her fifth year is only $96,000.
Yeah.
Their contract.
Yeah.
They
Well,
only play about 40 games, and they play in like what, 5,000 square foot? I mean, like 5,000 attendance.
About
Arena.
average is 5,000
Yeah.
people if you can get it from.
Attendance, like,
All in due time, I guess.
So look what the ratings did this year. They broke all kind of sport records, not just basketball records. And that's going to go into the attendance, and then the attendance and the TV ratings. It's going to just snowball now. It's just beginning.
And tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, we hear just about everybody complaining but the women.
Mhm.
It may be locker room conversation or behind closed doors, but we don't hear the women being outspoken about it like the Olympic soccer player women were when they came out strong against it very vocally. So all in a matter of time. Speaking of money, let me just put this out here now so that, hey, Gary, who's Gary? Somebody wake Gary up. I got a vibe. Well, but can we get this verberation out?
You want my mic?
Well, we need to fix it. So, we were having conversation before the show kicked in about the upcoming Mike Tyson fight. So, or Mike Tyson debacle. Exhibition. But any thoughts on who's going to do what and why?
Tyson's gonna knock him out.
No, he won't knock him out. He's just gonna beat him. he won't make them foolish, I don't think. But Mike is running 6 miles on the beach again, like he did before with the other guy. So it's kind of over.
Well, he's gonna do enough damage for him to win the fight. He's not gonna lose to Jake Paul. Like, he's gonna attack him a couple times. I don't care how old you are. He can still have that punching power and don't go away that easily.
Yeah, this ain't celebrity boxing match or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's Mike Tyson is one of the best to ever do it.
Mike has one of
Jake
the
Paul's
hardest
in trouble.
punches. Him and Shoulder are considered the hardest punching fighters ever.
Yeah, it just takes one shot. Like
I mean, in martial arts terms, he's considered a grandmaster. Would you say? Like 10th degree black belt.
and with him,
You don't lose that stuff.
one bad move, one wrong turn, and it all goes south.
Jake Paul can moving in slow motion to Mike Tyson. You know what I mean?
Well,
Even at his age.
we got feedback here somewhere.
It's gone now.
We're good?
Yep. Yeah.
So, Rock, you were talking beforehand that the NCAA did something really smart, giving Reggie Bush back his Heisman Trophy.
Well deserved, well earned. I loved Reggie Bush when he was in college. I mean, he played hard. He played to win. He was a phenomenal. I thought he was a phenomenal running back that can catch. And Reggie Bush was just one of my. I thought they did him wrong. However, though, with this NLI, I think it's catching up relative to what they were doing in the parking lot. Now they kind of brought
They
it
were
to
doing
Bush.
shields from day one. You know it, I know it. Back in the 70s easily. Look at the talent that came out of that.
I won't throw around any names because I used to hang around here too.
Well, yeah, we won't name names, but I'm curious to know when you spoke about athletes being taken care of in the parking lot, you looked at Sean Hawkins like maybe he was the recipient. Was there an implication there, or just a glancing blow?
It was.
Can you surely guys stick together?
Kindred spirits.
It was just kindred spirit.
That's all.
But Sean, we're on live camera. You've never taken any illegal donations, contributions, or dollars as a college athlete, but certainly you're aware of some people who.
Oh, definitely. And I'm aware of people getting in trouble for it. And it's like crazy. When you fast forward to times now, and you're like, man, I'm aware of so many names. I can sit here and give you a list of names amongst my grandfather. The list goes on and on of players that we wouldn't even countless and even go way back to the 60s of people that like their lives have been changed because of something that now is legal.
And to Ken's point, it's been going on forever.
Yes, forever.
Forever. At some point, somewhere, somebody offered money to somebody to do something other than what they wanted to do.
They're called agents, bro.
You know what?
Corvettes. Agents of
Agents.
agents of professional.
Sometimes not certified enough.
I mean, I remember being in college and hearing from time to time, like, the dangers of, betting on sports in college and stuff like that. And now that Vegas has basically legitimized everything, like, I mean, I was just watching TV the other day and I was watching the game. I remember seeing the odds at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was stats or something. I'm like,
And it's wild.
And you can change your bet during the game.
It's wide open. That's crazy.
You can say before you would think it would be a close thing, like okay, during the game, okay, you make your bet, and
Right.
once the game's started,
Right.
done. No, they wait through the game. I don't like this one.
That's just crazy.
No, you can do prop bets on points, assists,
Yeah, who scored
rebounds,
first?
yards.
Who scored first? Who had the first yard?
Is that why my man Pete Rose?
For the most passes in a quarter.
Yes.
Complete. Pete Rose needs to get in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
All of it.
Yeah.
I mean, he needs to get the whole thing, but bet on baseball. That's like a cardinal rule. If he bet on, if plus he bet on his team, well, he bet on his team or against it. I don't know.
His team to win though.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter if he bet on it to win. So hold up.
I agree, Brandon.
I'll
I
ask
agree.
this: betting on your team to win today. Okay, I'm gonna bet on my team to win today, but you ain't taking a bet tomorrow. That means you don't think your team will win today.
It depends on who's pitching. He was coaching at the time, but his Hall of Fame career as a baseball player.
One of the greatest that ever lived. One of the greatest that ever lived.
I'm not saying he's not deserving of being in the Hall of Fame.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying he bet on his team. He
What
was a
better
coach.
team? What
He
better
was a
team?
coach.
Now,
What better team could you bet on?
Yeah.
He's a coach.
Well, I'm betting on me.
There's no A Cardinal knowing that he did. It's like
and of all the sports, and Rock knows this, he's playing the game.
No, I'm not.
As a baseball player,
I'm a bet on me.
well, but you're not going to bet on the game. You're not. I know you're not going to bet on the game because you're also a man of high integrity.
I would do that.
Well, I don't want it to go out over the airways, but there's sometimes two things can be right at the same time. One of the greatest baseball players of all time, certainly to be sure, but he did bet on the game. If there's one game you can't bet on this planet, it's baseball.
You can now.
Because of the history of it.
You can now.
In the Chicago
Chicago White Sox.
White Sox, that's not the game you can bet on. But I want to go back. That's different too.
Look, speaking of, now, I did the two things. I need to segue because the NIL deal, I need mine. I think I'm going to go back and see if we can get that, the restitution of that. I don't know. Re-registrate something. I need that NIL because I know if I have one right now, it'll probably get me good. You know what I mean?
While you're searching, I can tell you this. Caitlin Clark got in one game all the money I got in my whole college career. The whole $942 I got playing the Slippery Rock. Listen, it's a whole different world now.
Yes.
And you know what also happened? The truth caught up with the circumstances because the NCAA and all the powers that are were controlling all that money.
Yep.
I used to say all the time, if you add up all the dollars of all the colleges in all Division 1, 2, and 3, and the zillions of dollars that is, where is that money being deposited?
Exactly.
So finally, the truth was caught up with the circumstances. And look, we're gonna have to close this segment out, but I just want to go around the horn and offer this. We need to know, finishing up with Warren, give us your matchups in the East real quick, so I can find out everybody's opinion on who's winning in the East.
Before you do that, we got a question from the live.
What is it?
So it's what about bet champs? Anyone can bet on any game, anything.
What about what?
Bet champs.
Yeah, see?
Anything.
See, that's what I said.
Baseball.
As long as you're not a player.
It's open.
Okay, it's open. I mean, good question.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking in with us. Nobody. It's got to be blanket, or it goes crazy. The moment you open that can of worms, it goes crazy.
Yeah.
But I am glad, once again, that the truth of the matter about money is caught up with the circumstances, and those people who deserve, every athlete deserves to be paid what they're worth. So the lacrosse player at Penn State can't make as much as the quarterback at Penn State, but the lacrosse player deserves to get what he's worth. That's all that I'm off.
Here's the problem. They opened up the can of worms, which was good. I'm glad they did it. However, they didn't have a cap from the beginning, and that ruined everything. Without that cap, it just went out of control. Now it's out of control. They're never going back.
No, it's never going back. All right, but very quickly, so we can wrap this segment up. Playoff circumstances in the East.
The East, Boston and Miami.
Hold it. Who we got?
I've got Boston.
Who you got winning?
I got Boston.
Sean?
Coming out the East,
No, just in Boston and Miami.
Miami.
No, I got Boston beating Miami. Anybody else?
Boston.
Boston.
I'm going with my Knicks. I'm going with my
Hold
Knicks.
on, let's get to the next game.
Knicks and
Boston and Miami.
Knicks and 76ers.
Boston.
All right, go ahead.
The Knicks and 76ers. The Knicks is up 2-0. I'm going with the Knicks.
Yes.
Next.
Knicks.
Next.
I got the 76ers coming back to win that series.
Wow.
You know why?
You gonna bet on that?
Well, I'm not
Embiid
gonna
don't
do
look
that.
sturdy.
But Embiid said,
Embiid don't look
You're
sturdy.
bad,
He
Huh?
don't look sturdy. I was watching him. He's just a
It
little
didn't-
hobbly.
yeah, it didn't
He's a
look-
little
Is that the
hobbly.
problem?
His injury.
You know what? Maybe let's watch. And you see him trying to get back on D. Normally he'd be able to get back on D and get the little box from behind. He's not. He's hobbly. He ain't getting that explosion the way that he really likes.
All right, then I'm going with the Knicks.
I take a, you know what I mean? I take a look at that. You know what I mean? But watching,
I lost $5 to Rock last week.
I can't afford to lose money moving right now.
All right,
Unless they got him in the hyperbaric chamber and bring him back in the Friday Night
The
Lights.
last guy to beat that shot.
Sean, give him the 10-7,000.
The last guy in the chamber died. So he can stay away from it.
The Bucks and the Pacers is tied series 1-1. I'm gonna go with the Bucks on
Got
that
the
one.
Bucks across the board. The Bucks.
No.
Not least in the East, the Cavs and Magic. The Cavs is up 2-0. I'm gonna go with the Cavs.
Cavs win that. All right, in the West.
In the West,
That'll wrap this up. In the West.
much tighter in the West. OKC and New Orleans. I'm gonna go with OKC. They finished 1, and I was watching the game the other day, and New Orleans, especially since Zion's down,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna be.
Uphill battle there. Go ahead.
Denver and Lakers. The Denver's up. The Nuggets is up 2-0. I'm going with Denver. When I
The
see
Lakers will rise again.
the
The
Lakers,
Lakers will rise again.
LeBron has us. We will rise. And LeBron we trust.
scuba diving right now.
All right, you got this.
No fish yet.
Minnesota and the Suns. Minnesota's up 2-0. I'm definitely going with Minnesota.
I agree.
Suns chemistry is off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The Suns aren't the same as
Ain't
they
enough
were last year.
basketball. Yeah, ain't enough basketball for those three guys.